Yep. Good evening, everyone. So last session, we designed a simple example by using ng-for. To understand ng-for, we designed one example. Now, this is the example we tried actually. That's the example what we designed. Yep. So this is shopping example we created. In this, we are creating an interface. User can filter the products and define them. Now, to this, we will add some functionality. So what is the functionality we need to add is, up to this, everything is fine. Now, when user selects any product and clicks on add to cart, that product must be added to cart. We need to maintain a separate cart items where this item must be added into cart. Now the question is how we can manage that. For that, some more techniques you have to learn. We need to understand some more techniques. To finish that example, you need to know another major concept. After knowing that concept, we can complete this example. What is the concept is actually ng-for. So ng-for is a structural directive. It has some important properties. ng-if and ng-switch don't have any properties, but ng-for have some properties. By using these properties, we can do more with ng-for, and they are very much required also. We can do a lot of things by using ng-for. What is that? I will show you here. What are the properties available for ng-for? ng-for, we have property and type and say description. Actually, the properties it is having, we have a property index. Its type is number. Actually, it returns iterating item index number. That means repeating item index number. It returns repeating item index number. Why we need the repeating item index number, I will show you. We will see that. That means when you are using ng-for, you can use these properties in ng-for. Where to use these properties, how to work with these properties, let's see one point. First, property index, its data type is number. We have another property. So we have odd, we have even, we have first, so we have last. Odd, even, first, last. These all are Boolean type. All these are Boolean type. They will return Boolean true or false. They are all Boolean type. They return true or false. Boolean type. What is purpose is, odd means it returns true if item, if repeating item is at odd occurrence. Is it odd occurrence? Is it odd, even, first, last occurrence? For all of them, same definition. For all of them, the definition is same. That means which occurrence item it is, it will return. So odd will return true if repeating item is at odd occurrence. Even will return true if repeating item is at even occurrence. First will return true if it is first. Last will return true if it is last. That means when you are iterating and repeating the elements, we can know their index number. We can know the occurrence, where they occurred, odd occurrence and even. Why you need them, I will show you. Example, we will see one point. Here, one more is there, track by. Track by is a function type. It is a function type. What it is going to do is it returns. Track by is a function type. So it returns the changes. It returns the changes in iteration. It returns the changes in iteration. What is advantage of returning the changes in iteration? I will tell you. We will see that. So we will see examples for that. What is the purpose of these? It's a function type. So track by is a function type. So we have index, we have odd, we have even, first, last, and track by. Let's see one example how to deal with them, means how we can use them. So after knowing this, we can implement that in the shopping example. After knowing the purpose, generally how to write them is, we have to write like this. So syntax. So we need to write, suppose a list item is repeating. We use ng for. Ng for, we have to define let. So item of, what is it? Collection. After that, semicolon. We have to create some let I. In that we can store index. So this I contains the index number of this iterating item. Index number of the iterating item. Similarly, you can put a semicolon. We can say some last. So say or like odd is equal to some odd. This reference name you can give anything. So into that it will store, odd will return boolean, true or false. So like that we can add all the properties and we can use those properties. How to use those properties? Let's see one example. We will see one example to understand how to use the properties, right? That means how this index, odd, even will work. For that, I will add a new component. Let's go to components here. So the components folder, we are adding, ng generate component. We have for properties. Okay, skip this. I'm just using for properties. Let's keep these for properties in the startup. I will keep for properties component. Okay, and in index HTML we will keep for properties. I'm adding for properties. Yeah. So for properties working fine. Okay. Let's create a simple iteration here. I will go to for properties TS file. Here I will just create sample data. Public products is an any type array. In that we will store some product objects. We will keep some product objects, simple name and price. Like this is simple object. we have name, and we have price. So like this we define another name. So some shoe, and this is price. Okay. Some details we are adding here. Now this we will print in a HTML page. So let's create a div. So, and in that product details, and here we are using a table. So class table hover like this, and we have t head, tr, th. One is name, another one price. So t body, we will use a row. This row should repeat. I am using ng for let item of collection is products. For every product, I will create one cell in that item dot name, another cell item dot price. Now you can see this is the table. Now in this table, class container fluid. Now this is the table we have. This is a simple iterator. Let's see iterator properties, what they are. Just temporarily to make you understand, I am declaring semicolon let I is equal to index, semicolon let O is equal to odd, let E is equal to even, let F is equal to first, and let L is equal to last. Just references I created. Let's print them and see. Here I am giving heading index. I am giving heading odd. I am giving heading even. Another heading is first. Another heading is last. Now here I am giving a table cell. In this I give I. I contains index. After that I will keep here O. O contains odd. Another here, this is E. It contains even. And F contains first. And L contains last. You can see all the details I am printing. You can see their result. That means index is starting with 0, 0, 1, 2. So index is returning a number. And odd is returning true or false. It says it is false because it is not odd occurrence. This is odd occurrence, then second one is an odd occurrence, then it is true. Now the question is, why should I know is it an odd occurrence or even occurrence? Generally, to apply some effects, styles, we need to put some even odd styles, like even rows one color, odd rows another color. Alternatively, we need to apply some effects. Then we can go with this even and odd, right? Why do I know first, last? For last row, we can give a different effect. For first row, we can give a different effect. Or suppose we want to add a new record, then we can put it as a last row or as a first row. We have to know where it is. Is it first row, last row? So such examples I will show you. You will understand. Why we need index number? Suppose if anyone asks like, okay, this is good, fine. If anyone asks like, so last cell, here we will put a cell, and here we will put a button and a span, class bi trash, fill. For button, I am giving class btn danger. Now see here, I want that delete to work. That means when user clicks the delete button, that record must be deleted. That's not a simple functionality. First, you should know which row delete button they clicked. Because how many delete buttons are here? Only one. That one button is repeating. Understood? Only one button is there that is repeating 3 times, 10 times, 100 times. Then how to know in which row delete button you clicked? How do we know which row delete button is clicked? If we can get the index number of that row, it is easy. Am I right? We can get the index number of that row where the delete button is present, then it is easy. How to get the index number of repeating rows? If a row is repeating, how to get its repeating index number? At which number it repeated? We can get that by using a property called index. By using index, we can get the index number. Let's try deleting this now. So that means I will keep here a heading. I will keep a heading actions. Okay. Now when user clicks on delete at any button, that record must be deleted. Right? Let's see how we can implement that, how we can manage that. So see here, we have to write a event. So how to write event? Let's write a event. So go to the TS file, here write a method, public, so delete click, and delete click is a void type. Okay. This should fire up when user clicks delete button, but we need to know which delete button they clicked, which row delete button they clicked. So here we can get index, which is a number type. So whenever user clicks delete button, this method will fire up. Into that we will pass the index number of row. How to pass that? What we will do, we will write for this button. This button have which event? Click. On click, what is the method? Delete click. Into that we need to pass index number. That means we have to pass I. We'll send the index number. Now what we have to do? Collect that index number record and delete that index number record from array. From this array, that index number record must be deleted. How to delete any specific element from an array? Array have 3 methods for deleting: pop, shift, and splice. There is a method called splice. Array pop will delete last one. Array shift will delete first one. Splice can delete at any specific index. So we have to write a logic here. What is the array name? This dot products dot splice. We have to use splice. At which index number? Index. Whatever index number you collected. From there, how many records to delete? 1. We have 0, 1. How many to delete? 1. That's it. Now you can see, I click on this delete of second, it will be deleted. I click delete of first one, it will be deleted. Before deleting, if you want confirmation, are you sure you want to delete or not? Yes, no. Then generally what we do is, we can declare a flag, LET flag. Flag contains a confirm. Confirm means here, are you sure? Are you sure? So want to delete, want to delete, want to delete. This confirmation we will give. Confirm in JavaScript, confirm box will give a choice, yes, no. okay, cancel. And that means what confirm box will return if flag is equal to true. Confirm box will return true or false. Confirm box is a Boolean type. It returns true or false. If it is true, then delete should happen. Otherwise, nothing. Otherwise, don't do anything. This delete should happen only when it is true. Now see here, I click on delete button of second record. Then it says, are you sure want to delete? I said cancel, it's not deleted. I said delete, are you sure you want to delete? I say okay, then it is deleted. That is very important. So writing the logic for identifying which one to remove is very lengthy process. They made it simple. They created a simple property called index. And if you can declare that index and collect the index, you can know which item it is. Earlier through JavaScript or jQuery to do like that, we have to write an iterate loop. You have to write a for loop. Through the for loop, get the index number of iterating item and then apply the functionality. Now it is very simple. Only one property you need to declare, and that property is index. Remember, this is just introduction of for properties. Later we will design registration, login forms, adding records, deleting records. There we have to use them very much. With backend database, I will show you how to handle with backend database. We will see. Then you will understand the complete same. But for that, so much time is there. So many things you have to learn to deal with backend, edit details, delete such actions to create. Initially, this is one concept. I hope you understood why we need an index number, right? So why we need an index? What is the use of index? The use of index is this. Similarly, even odd, first, last, but for that you need to learn some CSS. Means you need to learn attribute selectors, attribute directives. Currently we are learning about structural directives. After structural directives, we will learn about attribute directives. There we can use it. So for that, you need to learn how to apply CSS and all. Actually, I will just show you. Suppose we have a CSS file. There we have odd. Odd is a CSS class. For odd, what we will do is, so background color, we will put a simple color like aqua marine. And similarly, we are using even. For even background color, we are giving, suppose light, some, this one I will give, burly wood, something like this we define. Now what I want to do is, these are the styles we need to apply. We need to apply for these rows. All odd rows one color, even rows another color. Alternative colors we want. Usually you will see this. For example, you are using PowerPoint. When you are using PowerPoint, in PowerPoint, suppose you are creating a table. You are inserting a table. You see even and odd colors will be there. That means first row color is different, even color is different, odd color is different. How it is getting all these automatically? There might be some logic behind this, right? How it is knowing that this is first row and apply a different color? How it knows that it is even and apply different color? There is logic behind this. That means how they are working for you means somebody written behind this. Right? That means now the point is how we can apply here. Suppose we want to apply the class. That means generally we use a class here. Class. Actually, we apply class name. So we define class name. So class name, suppose we use odd. Into that, what is the value you want to apply? So I want to apply O. So actually we have to just use class. Later you will learn class is odd. This odd class have to use O. O means true or false. O is odd, na? Odd is returning true or false. That means generally what happens, odd colors will be that color. Odd rows will have that color automatically. That means which one is odd, it will identify through the logic. Similarly, I am writing here another one. What is it? Class. If it is even, that means we will apply E. That means class, which class to apply? Odd class. To whom to apply odd class if occurrence is odd? What O is returning? O is returning true if the occurrence is odd. E is returning true if the occurrence is even. And remember, this odd is the class name. We created a class odd. We are accessing that class and we are applying. Now you can see for even odd occurrences, different colors will be there. Later you are adding one more row. This will automatically update. I am deleting. Suppose last row is deleted. Okay, then it will update. The first row is deleted, then it will update. When you are adding the rows, it will automatically update. Right? This is the purpose of odd even. How to apply special effect for first? You have to use first. You have to use last. That means if it is first, then apply that. If it is last, then apply. Occurrence you can handle. So these are generally effects. I am applying a class called odd only for the iterators which are in odd occurrence. This you can do in the shopping example. I will show you. First I am explaining the purpose of these properties. What is the purpose of I index? What is the purpose of even odd? We need to understand. This is basic. Right? Okay. Let's observe one more thing here. So I hope you are clear. What is index? What is odd? And what is even, first, last? And where they are used, one small example I showed you. Right? So in deleting, in editing, in details like functionalities also we use index. For applying some effects, colors, we have to use odd, even, first and last. What is track by? This is interesting. Later you will use in various occasions also. Actually what is track by is, first I will just give you overview. Here I will put a button. I will put a product details. I will put a button here. Add more. Okay. Class BTN and BTN, suppose some danger, something. There is a button called add more. When I click add more, one more record must be added to this array. Into this array, we need to add one more record. Along with all the records, we should add one more record. I am doing like this. See, we have to write the function public. So add more click. Add more click. So we are using void. What should happen? This dot products. I need to collect. So same values. I am copying same. I am copying same. And I am adding here one more name. This is watch. And I am adding price and some price. Like this we define. That means same are repeated, but one more extra is added when you click add. Now this kind of situation will come regularly in our real-time development, because when you are fetching data from API, already you may fetched the data in and some changes happened in database. Those changes are pushed along with existing data. This changed data also will update actually. Now what is challenge for developer is, the main challenge for developer here is, if records are same, there is no change occurred. If records are same, there is no change occurred. Is Angular or any technology intelligent enough to understand are the records same or any change occurred and update only changed record? Is your technology capable of identifying which one changed, which one not changed, and it can update only changed? No. Your technologies are not capable of identifying that. You have to write logic for that. You have to write some functionality for that. That means your technologies by default don't have the capacity to understand whether the data which is coming is not changed or changed. You have to manually write a logic for that. So due to that, see what happens here. Observe carefully. When I click add more, one more record must be added. We have to write this add more click na. So here we have to write button click. On click, which function to call? Add more click. This function to call. Now see what happens. I click on add more. One more record is added. One more record is added. But my question here is for iterator again iterating all these three, or it is iterating only the last one? Understood the question? That means is for iterating all the rows again, or it is iterating only the new? It is iterating all the rows. Then it is not good, because why you are iterating the records which are already loaded? Only new records must be iterated. That means you observe carefully here. Let's go to refresh. Yeah. Let's go to inspect. In inspect, let's go to div. In that table, in that T body, in that 3 rows are there. Observe carefully, those 3 rows are present. Yeah, you can see here 3 rows are present. Observe carefully when I click add more button. When I click add more button, all 3 again generated. The body is generated, all 3 generated again. Observe carefully, I click add more one more time. When I say add more one more time, iterator is working again. I click one more time, iterator is working again. You see it is blinking. Iterator is working again. Why you are unnecessarily iterating if there are no changes? Understood? That means you do iteration and present only if any change occurred. If there are no changes in the data, you don't need to iterate. But by default, for iterator will iterate every time. That means you see I click on add more, it is iterating again. I click on add more, iterating again. That means remember it is loading again and again. If there are millions of records to load, then loading again and again is not a good idea. So what we have to do, we have to identify where the changes occurred. Only those changes must be iterated. If there is no change occurred, no need to iterate. For that, lot of logic is required in the background. And Angular have written logic for you. They just provided a simple property, apply it, it will take care about this. Remember, this is a challenging job for developers in real time. If Java, .NET and other PHP, Python like technologies ask you to do this, you have to write logic lengthy. But now Angular simplified this for you. They introduced a built-in property which can identify whether change occurred in for loop or not. If change occurred, then only it will iterate. If not occurred, it will not iterate. It will not iterate. So how it can happen? How it can happen here? Observe carefully now. So to do that, in the for loop, first we have to write a function. We have to write a function. So the function means public. We have to write track change. We have to write a function track change. Into this function, we will define index. Index is what type? Number. And we will return that index. We will return that index number. That means what the track change function will do is, it will identify which row changed and it will send that message to Angular saying that third row changed. Then what ng for do? Only third row it will repeat. It will not repeat all the rows. It will repeat only the row which changed. That's very good. Not good, it's very great. This kind of functionality, if you have to write, it is a lot of risk involved in that. So much you have to write. That means observe now, when this track change should fire up. So I will go to the HTML. Here in the iterator, this is ng for iterator. We are writing index, odd, even. Here we have to use semicolon. Another one, track by. We have to use track by. Track by usually uses a function name. Which function? Track change is the function. We have to point that function. That means what will happen is, whenever any change occurred in the table, that changed row related details are sent into this function. What track by will do? It will verify in the collection which one changed, and it will send the index number of that into this track change. Now what track change will do? It will update only that. It will not allow to update others. That is very, very good. Simple, with one property you are managing this, which requires hundreds of lines of code to write actually. Now observe carefully now. See, now open that data body. In the body, open this. Okay, in the div, we have table. In that T body and row, 3 rows are there. Observe carefully here when I click add more. When I click add more, you will see only last row is generated. You can see the blinking only last row. Observe. I will open this again. In the body, app properties, we have div. In the table, T body, you see these 3 rows. You will identify these 3 rows. These 3 rows are not refreshing. Observe carefully. Those 3 rows are not refreshing. Only when I click add more, only last one will refresh. And one more time I will click. I will click one more time. Is any change occurred? No. Then when I click one more time, it is not iterating. I click one more time, it is not iterating. To just make you confirmation here, whenever add is clicked, I will put an alert also, just for your sake. So add clicked, am I right? I will put an alert just for understanding sake. And observe carefully in the body, in the properties, in the div, in the table body, you see I click add more, means add clicked. I say okay, you will see only last row generated. I will click add more. You see add is clicked, but iterator not working. I say add more and add clicked. Okay, iterator not working. When iterator will work, if any another record change it. That is very, very good. This is good. That means you are not iterating all the data. You are iterating only the data which changed. This is very good. That is what actually happens when you use, suppose I will go here, right? Yeah. Here, suppose when you are using Google images, suppose I am searching for Angular. You see Angular images are there. How many images came? Hundreds, millions of images came. Observe carefully now. When I am scrolling down, the new images will be loading. Am I right? When I am scrolling down, new images are loading. So when you are scrolling down, new images are loading. Scroll down, new images are loading. The question here, while loading these new images, is it loading above images again? Is it loading above images again? No. These new only added to the iteration. That is what actually TrackBy can do. TrackBy can do. This is very, very important, especially when you are designing single page applications. When you are designing single page applications to existing content, new details will be added. When new details are added, every time you cannot iterate. That is a lengthy process because millions of records are loading in the background. It will take a lot of time. It should do iteration only when change occurred. This is very good concept, and that is possible with the help of which option? TrackBy. So that means it returns the changes in iteration. And what will happen? It returns the changes. So ngFor will perform iteration only over the changed index. Only over the changed index. So ngFor will perform iteration only over the changed index. So this will save lot of time. But remember, TrackBy needs a function. TrackBy needs a function. And remember that function should return index number. Remember one more thing. Actually, it is not simply function. It is a function pointer. It is a function pointer. It is not calling the function. It is pointing towards the function. For example, syntactically, suppose we are writing a method track change. Track change is expecting index, which is what type? Number. And this is return that index number. Now we are writing, so tr, here we are using ngFor let item of collection. And here we have to use TrackBy : it should point to track change. You should not write parenthesis. Because it is not calling the function. It is pointing towards that function. It is function pointer. And you may ask, like, it is expecting index number, we are not passing. TrackBy will send index number by default as a reference. That means internally it have a functionality which will send the index number of the record which changed. And it will update only the changed record. That is very, very important, especially when you are doing iterations. That means whenever you are using for, you have to know all these points. That means how to get the index number, how do we know even odd occurrences, how to restrict ngFor in such a way that it will do iteration only when change occurred. Unnecessarily don't iterate every time. So all these requires these important properties, right? This is one example for all those properties. I am giving for properties dot component dot ts. I will give this example. This is the TS file, and I will give the HTML file for properties dot component dot HTML. This is the presentation. Just to understand the concept, we are giving this. Now, once you know these properties, one more CSS also now for properties dot component dot CSS. So I will keep that CSS here. In that we are just giving even and odd, right? These are the effects. This is the example where I showed you all these points. Now let's implement this in our shopping example. In our shopping example, we will try to implement this. Let's see. Let's put the shopping example now. In the startup, I will keep shopping example. Let's go to app module. And in that we will keep shop component. Shop component in the startup and index.html shop. So shop, okay. So after knowing the for properties, we have to implement this in that shopping example. Here we need to implement. Now what I want here is some functionalities I want to manage here, and the functionalities are nothing but user can select a category and user clicks add to cart. That particular item must be added to cart. That particular item must be added to cart. Let's write logic for this and see. That means we need to maintain a separate array for storing the items that they are adding into cart. So what we will do, let's go to the shop TS file. In the shop TS file, we will create another array. We will create another array, public cart items, which is any type array, and it is empty. Cart items contains only the items that they are adding into cart. But the question is, where is that add to cart button? Add to cart button is present here. You see, this is add to cart button. On this button click, how to send that product ID? We need to send that particular product ID. Remember, in the fake store API products, every product can be identified using ID. If you can send the ID, that product related information you can fetch. Okay, we will do that. So what we will do, on this button click, that ID should be sent. Okay, now what we will do, let's go to the TS file and here write the logic. So function public add to cart click. Okay, it is void. So on add to cart click, we have to get the index number. That means we need to get the ID. That means we are expecting product object, which is any type. We are expecting ID. Okay, ID is what type? Number type. Okay, we need to pass that ID when add to cart click. So that means on this button click, we have to use add to cart click. Into that, we need to pass item dot ID. It will send the current product ID. It will send the current product ID. Let's check whether the ID is coming correctly or not. Alert ID. I will just alert the ID and check. Let's click on jewelry. Click on this. It gets its ID 6. So it is working fine. So it is able to access that particular ID. Every product have an ID. It is able to get that ID. That is working fine. Now what we have to do, fetch that particular ID related product from API and add into cart items. That means we need to fetch that and add into cart items. So here we have to use fetch. So fetch http://fakestore.api.com/ what is it? products/product ID. Product ID dynamically we will pass from the parameter. That means it will get only the product details which is matching with the ID. So we will use then response dot what JSON. After that we will use then we will collect the product, and this product must be added into cart items. This dot cart items dot push, and we have to just push this item. What is the product that is added into cart items? And I will put an alert here. I will put an alert. In the alert, I will say, so this is product dot title /n added to cart. That means it's title added to cart. This message I will give. That means you see here what will happen. I selected jewelry and I click on this product and it says white gold plated princess added to cart. So this is added to cart. Okay, after adding that to cart, here I should show the number. That means their right side corner, I have to show how many items are in the cart. That means there I want the number to update. We need the number to update. How many items are in the cart I want to display there. Then what we will do here is, where is that design? How to get how many items are in the cart? And we need to update that. So what we will do here is, we will write a separate method. We will write a separate method, public. So get items count. And what this method have to do, it should return how many items are there in the cart. We will store that in a separate property. So public cart items count is what type? Number type. Initially how much? 0. It is 0. And this must be updated. That means we have to use this dot cart items count must be updated. How to get the latest count? We have to get this dot cart items dot length. Understood? That means how many items are there in the cart. We have to get the length and we have to store in cart items count. And where to display this cart items count? Cart items count must be displayed top right side here. Here we need to display. In that span we want to display. That means there I will just put another square brace, or here we will put a span. In the span what we will do, here we will put that cart items count. That means this number we want to display, cart items count. That number we will display here, cart items count. And you can see the cart items count here is 0. Am I right? I will just put reasonably, if want, I will put a square brace here. Then it says cart items count. You can see in the square brace it is showing 0. Right, I am just displaying. You can put anywhere. You can put at the top corner. I will show you such styles also. Okay. Okay, now remember what should happen here is, whenever you are displaying the contents, that means I will just put without span. Without span I will put it. Then it will be simple and clean. It will be normal like this, 0. Right, it will put a normal number it is showing. After adding the items, it should update, na? That means what we have to do, go to the logic. After adding, we have to call the function again. Which function? Get items count. This function must be called. What that function will do, it will get the latest count and it will update. It will update. Let's see. I will select jewelry. Currently items how many? 0. Now what I will do, I will click on add to cart. Item added to cart. Okay. Then number is 1. That is updated here. Now I am using another. Suppose I selected men's clothing. I added add to cart and men's casual t-shirt. Okay. Now 2 items are in the cart. That is working fine. How you want to display that depends. That means, for example, I will keep this here. You see this count I am adding inside the span. Actually, inside the span, we cannot add like this. This will be better. Now what happens? I click on some jewelry. I click the second one, add, then it will be 1. I selected men's clothing. I selected another one. Okay, it will be 2. It is displaying the number of items in the cart. Now the point is, when I click that button, it should get the list of items. When I click the button, it should show what are the items present in cart. What are the items present in cart and where to show. As of now, I will keep it simple. Later, we will little bit design pop-ups and all. Keep it simple. I want to display the cart items here, or I want to display the cart items here. Okay. Just right side, I want to show what are the items in the cart. Later, we will put in a pop-up. We will design a pop-up and we will keep. For that, you have to learn some more things to design pop-ups and all. Okay. As of now, we will put right side somewhere those items. Okay. So how do we do that? Actually, so this must be clickable. This must be clickable means we have to put in a button, right? I put in a button that will be like this. And for that, I will put a class BTN. Then it will not look like a button actually, and BTN light. It will add some symbol like this. Okay, temporarily I am doing that. Let's keep this in the button. Okay, that's fine. Actually, if I can keep this button here and this cart symbol inside the button, then it looks like this. This is more better, right? That means we are keeping in this way, right? That is showing the cart, how many items are in the cart. Now what should happen when user clicks add to cart? It is added. Now 1, it is clickable now. Now what should happen when user clicks? That must display here. I will do one thing. The left column. So here navigation column, I will give 1. And here navigation column, actually this is 2. And this is 8. 8 means shorter. Okay. One more column I will add. I will keep here aside. And I will keep the class as call 2. Okay. So right side, one more column will come. You can see right side column is clean now. Right? We can keep that right side column clean, empty. I will keep that empty. Right? Now what should happen? There I want to display a table. I will create a table. So class table, table hover. In this table, I want T-head, TR, TH. I want to display only title. And I want to display only price. Only those 2 details I want there. But by default, this table should not display. It should be hidden. By default, it should not display. It should be hidden. When you click the button, it should display. We can make a toggle. How to make a toggle? How to add or remove? For that, we have ngIf. By using ngIf, we can add or remove. So we will toggle that later. First, in this table, we need table body, T body. In the body, we need to generate a row. This row should repeat for items in the cart. That means what we have to do, ng for let item of, what is the collection? Cart items. Cart items, huh? What is the spelling for cart items? C cart items. Oh, spelling wrong. Huh? Car items I have given here. Okay, let's keep that car items. Okay, right. Now the cart items. Now what we have to do? First cell we need to display item dot title. Second cell we need to display item dot price. Only this is enough. Okay, now you see I selected jewelry and I am selecting an item and click on add. That will be added there. If you want, you can show the preview also, right? That means the product preview, but we don't have enough space. Actually, I need to adjust the space to do it. I will keep it 7. Then here I need to keep it 1. And here I need to keep it 3. 3, 4, 4, 7, 10, 12. Yeah. And you can see now little bit better, right? Now here I can select jewelry. I am adding any item and I click on OK. Here it will display the cart items. Now here, if I want, I will display preview also for that. In the header, we say preview, and here we will put a cell. In that we need an image. Image will have an src item dot image. So width is 50 enough, height also 50. Now that item will be displayed here. I am adding cotton jacket, add, it is added. I am adding some other golded print, okay, that is also added. So what are the items you are adding in the cart? So that means those items will be displayed there. You can see they are displayed there. We can toggle the display. That means we don't want to show every time, we want to display only when. So here in the table I will keep here heading. What is the heading is your cart items. That means it will display that heading, your cart items are these. That means user is adding them. Okay, the cart items it will display here. Okay, those are added. Here lot of logics are there. We have to implement them, we will see. But remember the items count is updated here. How to toggle the display? By using ngIf, you can try that. That means what we will do, I will put here public toggle cart. Okay, toggle cart is a boolean type. Boolean type by default it is a false. Now this toggle cart I will apply to the table below. This is the cart items table. Here what we will do, this all table I will keep in a div. So we will keep in a div, or we will do one thing. We can even apply directly for aside, but it will disturb. We will keep a div. In this div we need to apply. What we have to use ngIf. What is it? Toggle cart. Toggle cart we need to define. By default it is false. It is not displayed. When it should display, when user clicks this button. Right, when user clicks the button. So we have to write a code for that button. So where is that button? At the top right side. Yeah, this button needs a click. I'll say toggle click. Okay, toggle click, that is the function we have to write. So public, what is it? Toggle click. On toggle click, it is a void type, right? What we have to do, this dot toggle cart is equal to, we will use a ternary operator. What is it? If this dot toggle cart is already false, then set it to true. Question mark, set it to true. Otherwise set it to false. This is toggling. If it is true, false. If it is false, it will be true. Okay, now we will click here. So I will add to cart. It is added. One item is there. I click on it, it will display. Again, click on it, it will hide. Right? That means I am adding one more item. It is added to cart. Two items are there. I click on it, it will display. Right? And again click, it will hide. Later we will design pop-ups. We will create pop-ups and we will see how to design the pop-ups. So, but this is enough. Initially you can try this. Now I will give one task here. You have to finish that. Right? So this already we designed. I showed you what to do. Now additionally what you have to do is, additionally you have to implement the logic. What is task for you is, in the task what you have to do is, here you need to display. So yeah, here you need to display at the bottom here, you need to display total. You need to display total for the items here. That means it is some, how much, 55, 60. So suppose I say 67 like this. What is this total for these items? Understood? One more, you need to add a delete button beside them. Just now I showed na. You need to add a delete button beside them. When user clicks the delete, it should be deleted. It should ask, are you sure you want to delete? If say yes, it should be deleted. After deleting, it should update the total. Understood? This is the additional functionality you have to implement in this. Can you try? Right? How to calculate the total of those items in the cart and display the summary. Another important is delete button, so that user can delete the items in the cart. And the item is deleted in the cart, it should update the count. Remember, it should update the count above. It should display the summary here. Right? If you can do this, that is very good. Now you are up to mark with working with this kind of environment. Understood? Is it clear? So can you try that? Can I expect that from you? Right? If you can do, then I will give you some more good tasks which are used for regular real-time environment. Then you can try on that. Okay? So that we will continue in the next session then. Right? So is it clear? I will upload this entire example. You practice this, and if it is clear, then we will continue. Okay? Right? In the next session, we will see other directives, how to handle and how to work with them. This is again requires lot of practice. Remember here, all the functionality is working. See, at the top, I clicks men's clothing. It will filter that men's clothing and display that here. Am I right? These all functionality should work. Right? Already I designed that functionality. So how to handle the functionality, we discussed that. Right? When user clicks on them, those details will come. User clicks on add to cart, it is added to cart. It will work from any location. You can choose categories from here, or you can choose categories from the top. Wherever add to cart is clicked, it should update that and it should display here. I want the summary of that and the content to display. You try those two, then we can go with the other attributes, how to handle. Okay, that we'll see in next session. Right? And tomorrow we will not have session because I have a regular medical checkup for that, because I am not just recovered here. Tomorrow no session. Tomorrow and the day after tomorrow we will meet. Okay, tomorrow no session. Day after tomorrow we will go. Okay, right.